Say hello really quick.
Hi, hello.
This is my wife, Christy, for those of you who don't know her. She is the global social lead here for Ancestry. And she's been very nice to have Ancestry sponsor our space this evening. So thank you, Ancestry.com. And thank you for keeping a roof over my head and food in my stomach. And she's obviously not feeding me as much. You know, I've lost 4 stone now, so, you know, that's a part of it. But that's a good part of the entrepreneurship side of it. And thank you.
You're welcome. Excited for
Great.
tonight. Good.
10 years ago, when we first started this, shortly after the first bar camp, we put together an unconference we called BrainJams to connect people, ideas, and resources. Essentially to give people what they needed to be successful in whatever they were working at. Our real goal, though, was to be interdisciplinary, to get the artist to meet with the scientist, to get the engineer to meet with the poet, whatever it might be, because I learned very early from one of my teachers that we learned the most by looking outside of our daily disciplines, to looking to plumbing or to electrical work or street cleaning or whatever it might be, to understand patterns and get a better sense of the world. And so I wanted to extend this, but what I found is we all hang in our bubbles and in our communities because that's what we're comfortable with. And this concept of the other is pervasive. It's not just based on religion or countries or football clubs. It's based on who is like me and who is unlike me. And so it wasn't something that was compelling a lot of people to join when I said, let's get together and learn from different types of people. And it just so happened that at the time, this little thing called social media was starting to happen. And I had been working on a startup in that space, and it wasn't going well. I couldn't get the funding because at the time, believe it or not, the investors didn't think we needed to reinvent comments. So now we know Discuss and Live Debate and so many others. I was actually right again on that one, and the investors are wrong. But we ended up saying, well, let's just start doing this instead and bringing people together. And let's make sure that unlike what we got with the .com era and all this spam, that instead we had more white hat, that we had more ethics inside of this, that we actually worked to promote media literacy. Because what we realized at the base of connecting people was enabling them to learn how to do it properly, how to know when someone was bullshitting in the comments versus telling the truth, how we could actually end up letting people understand how to search for things and how to find better answers to the questions that they were looking for. And ultimately, with Social Media Club, we ended up getting to 350 cities around the world. And it grew into a global thing where we touched millions of people. It didn't become everything I wanted, but it became a lot more in many other ways, which was really wonderful behind it. And what it really became for me was a passion to try to stand up for the right things and to see the power that people can do with something like this by throwing up a post on Facebook and a blog post and having 10 people show up to talk about it. Whatever that might be that they're interested in, however they might find it. Random Facebook algorithm, following on Twitter for a long time, being friends who finally got to connect in person just 6 months ago. And it's just an amazing, powerful tool that is changing society fundamentally as we know it, which needs to be done because we're about to lose society because we have a lot of problems. The good news is we can fix it. So when I went to finally pay off all the debt that I did building the global nonprofit, I got a job at Deloitte leading social business there, and I saw what was really wrong with organizations. And I found out that it was more than people not doing what they said they were going to do. It was actually the budget, the bonuses, and the bozos. The budgets dictating what we could do over the course of the year ahead of us, not being able to be a real-time organization. The bonus, which makes us focus on a metric that screws our partners, our coworkers, and our teammates just so we can get the next Maserati or whatever it is. And of course, the bozos who don't know any better but had to lie to get their job and now have to lie to keep it because they're not able or capable of doing the things they were hired to do. And so they don't want smarter people around them. Anyways, that's a longer story. And that's a new blog post that's yet to be written, but it is a new realization. But a few months ago, in August, I was seeing something on the news and getting pissed off again, which happens to me a lot these days. And I realized that one of the core problems we have with society is most activism and most social good is even based on confrontation. It's based on actually challenging people for who they are. And as soon as you challenge somebody, that's when they step back to defend themselves. That's where they dig their heels in to get ingrained in whatever mindset they have because they're not meaning to be against others or society. It's an unconscious thing that people are doing. So how do we come with open arms? Whereas the Native American Indians, you know, this symbol was meant, I don't have a hammer in my hand to kill you with. I'm coming in peace, literally. So how do we actually come to that? And that's when I wrote this blog post. It was a Facebook post, actually. And then 3 days later, I launched a site, We Are the Solution. And I realized we had to connect BrainJams with this again. But it was also not totally out of community social good interest. I'd been working on a software product called Will Someone, a better way to ask for help from your community, the crowd, or your cohorts on your team, as ever the case may be. This is a free new community collaboration platform that we've launched and we're using now with the We Are the Solution community. And we're now able to start seeing how that works and get it better and improve how we collaborate with one another. But ultimately, it goes back even further than that to 2000 when I was on a vision quest in the Mojave Desert in the US. 3 days with a group of other people about a kilometer and a half apart from the next human, sitting by myself in the middle of this canyon with no water, with no food, very limited water, and just kind of being out there to think. And it was at that time where I came back where I realized that everyone that I know has a noble pursuit. There's something that they want to do to make the world better. Whether that something is to leave a better world for their granddaughter or for their children, if it's to save the whales, if it's to build a tech company that creates the next messaging app. I don't hold the same thing for all the liquor delivery apps that are out there, by the way. There's a little bit enough of them, but that's okay. If they think that's saving the world, let them do that too. As long as they deliver it. And it's on time and it's at a good price. Value. It's all about value. And it's keeping people off the road. So even that has a value. If that person doesn't drive because it has delivery, there is value in it. So I'm saying it to be a little bit cheeky, but there is actually value in most things as we see it. But when I looked at this, why don't more people engage in their noble pursuit? It's because they don't believe the world can change. They don't believe it can be different. They don't believe they can make the change themselves. The other reason? They don't know how. They don't know where to start. They don't know what else exists out there. And they don't know how to search to even see what exists that might help them. So we realized it was these two things. Social proof and connectivity to the people, ideas, and resources that can help them. So that's kind of the background of the BrainJams event that now 10 years later, we're bringing back as a part of a broader global movement to build communities of people who help each other all the time, cross-connecting different communities, connecting chambers of commerce with schools, connecting large corporations with nonprofits and NGOs. And ultimately, that's the broader goal for We Are the Solution behind this. And that's why I've brought you all here together and invited you to join us, to actually allow you each to share your story of what is the change you want to make in the world, to actually talk about why you want to do it and how you're going to feel when you see that change. And then to be able to help each other connect with the people, ideas, and resources that you know that might be able to help them. You've already been doing this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a specific context in one-on-one, about 6 minutes or so, meetings. We're going to set up around the table, and I'll show you all that in a minute as I usher you all into different seats. And we're literally going to sit across and start with that question. What is the change you're trying to make in the world? How can I help? And give the other person some time to explain what that is, give them some feedback, give them some of these ideas, and then I'll ring the bell once, literally just a really light, and that'll signal the half point so that you can then change and allow the focus to go to the other person sitting across from you. And at the end of that time, we'll do 2. And at that point, I'm going to have to fight you and ply you away with sweets and wine and whatever else I can to get you to move, because I hate to be rude and interrupt, but we have to keep moving and try to stay on time. Otherwise, we could keep talking to one person all night, as you've probably already experienced. So with that, what we're going to do is to go ahead and get seated into these groups and or into a different spot, and I'll show you where, because we actually have the perfect number of tables and chairs, and we'll give you a little more instruction and a little more time to get settled, and then start. So that's what we're doing with We Are the Solution in BrainJams today. And I guess the one last point, which I kind of forgot, was the connection with the software. So you might not get to talk to everyone today. Or maybe you do, but you forgot kind of what was there. The idea behind Will Someone is that you'll join our We Are the Solution group and be able to ask for what it is that you needed. Ask for what it is that you still need. So that other people maybe who were in DC or San Francisco, where we meet later in the week or 2 months from now at another event, might be able to see what it is you need help with and be able to help you and find that connection. And so that way we're extending beyond the 10 of us here in the room to the world around us. And that's what we didn't have before. Because when I went around and did this the first time everywhere I went, people were like, I want to help. This is brilliant. It's so simple. It's awesome. And I was like, well, truth be told, my grandfather lived through the Depression and the war. And he was a very stoic man. And he did not know how to ask for help. And I did not know either. And I still don't. I still have trouble with it. I like giving to people. He taught me to take care of others and to be that person that was the anchor and that was there for others. And besides that, I didn't know who they were or what they could do and if they'd do a good job. And so I had a little fear, like even like saying, yeah, do this for me. Or, hey, start this local community. But with Will Someone, what I can do is have you all look at the group. And everything that I need help with right now, which includes, by the way, renaming We Are the Solution to something a little more dynamic, because it's kind of simple and plain, descriptive, but, not very energizing. You can see everything I need help with. And if you find the thing that makes your heart sing, I'll ask you to accept and do it. And that's how you can help me and how you can help each other as we go forward. So, with that, what I'd love to do is we have a setup here, essentially every table for 2 people. So we can fill in 6 over here, and I think, 4 here. And if we can get everyone moved over, then we'll sit down and I'll go to the next step, and it just starts with getting seated.